From home, no?
Yeah, at home. Ramali, where are you? Are you at work or home?
Home, no, home.
Home.
Yeah, yeah.
This side.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Walaikum salam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I think principal sir also has joined the.
As the principal is there?
Principal has joined, but I think sir's mic is mute still.
Oh, right, okay.
Dr. Akram, Dr. Amali. Doctor, shall we start now?
Inshallah.
Dr. Akram.
Yeah.
Inshallah. Mr. Nazim Diaz.
Yes.
we can start. We can start.
Principal sir, are you there?
Yeah, you can proceed.
Thank you, sir. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Mr. Fawzul Hamid, Chairman of College Board of Governors, our Principal, sir, Mr. Trizi Marikar, and Deputy Principal, Mr. Razin Hassan, and our teachers and our sectional heads and vice principals, and our speakers, Dr. Akram and Dr. Amali, and Mr. Malik, and our moderator, Mr. Nazim Diaz, and all our participants, those who are participating via Zoom and YouTube channel. On behalf of Zaira University Alumni, I warmly welcome all of you to this new event, Meet Your Role Model. And I'm Azrin Ahas, joining the program from Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, from batch of 2011. And we would like to start off this event with the recitation of Noble Quran. And to recite the Qiraat, I would like to invite Mr. Hamad. He is a member of ZUA, and he's a second year undergraduate of University of Rajarata, Faculty of Applied Science. Mr. Hamad.
Assalamu alaikum. Jazakumullah khair. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakallah khairan, Hamad. Alhamdulillah, this program is very special for us, since this is our very first program of the year 2021, and it becomes the most special because the role models that you are going to meet are all from Zaira College. And all our participants, if there's any interruption during the program, everyone can rejoin the meeting room using the same ID and the password. And if you are unable to rejoin, you can watch the program through our YouTube channel as well. And okay, let's proceed with our first event of the agenda. And to deliver the welcome speech, I would like to invite our college principal and the leader of our Zaira University Alumni, Mr. Trizi Marikar.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you very much, Azri, and Dr. Ramali, and Mr. Bahari, and all the Chairman Board of Governors, and all the distinguished old boys who have joined here right now, and also the students who have qualified to enter the university. And Assalamu alaikum. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you today. We are having this special event like in the past. It is not the first event. There were many events that Uni alumni were able to conduct, and we see that large number of students are waiting to get the directions from the senior old boys who are in the field, and they are ready to help and give a guide, sort of a helping hand, and also guidance for these qualified successful students who did quite well at the last advanced level examination. And it is always our pleasure to see that they are given correct guidance. So it is going to be a very pleasant experience for all of you, and I would like to see that the children, these students, are guided right through from now onwards to see that they complete that their university education in a successful manner. And as every one of you know, you need to inspire each one of them once again, because not only the senior all boys who are here ready to give you a mentoring session, but these students who are receiving these things, they have to guide the younger students, because the community needs the intelligentsia, the educated set of people to guide the community at large. So we are in the correct path, and we also need to show the path for the others. There are so many students who got qualified to enter the state universities, but unfortunately, due to some valid reasons, that they are not pursuing higher education in the chosen field. Of course, the government is providing free education up to university education, so they can complete the degrees without spending a cent for the tuitions. So I think it is our turn to make use of the opportunity without blaming the authorities. So it is very important that we give the direction to you once you qualify to enter the university, because there are students we have come across who are having second thoughts whether to go to the university, whether to complete their degrees in the universities, or to drop out. We have seen so many dropouts from the university education also. So because there are they lack the sort of guidance, and they are not guided properly in a way. So we thought our duty as the school authorities, it is not going to end from the advanced level stage, but even after that, even beyond advanced level, we will be trying to see that you continue your higher studies. And university alumni, I'm sure there are a lot of senior all boys who have qualified, who have done their degrees, postgraduate degrees, and so on. And we want to see not only the students complete their education at the university, they should be encouraged to do their masters and PhDs as well. So we need so many people in our community to help and guide our community. Not only the community, but also to see that we are useful citizens to the Sri Lanka, and to be the well-balanced, useful citizens who could contribute to the economy, national economy of the country. So that is also our duty. And then at large, globally, we should be citizens who could be fit enough to be the global citizens at large. So I think in all those respects, these types of motivational or mentoring sessions are important. Chairman Board of Governors is always advising the college management to give opportunities for the students and to guide them. And we are now, even when they complete the advanced level, always there is a ceremony. Last year, of course, we could not have it, but this February, we are going to finish that one. That is the graduation ceremony. The children who have successfully completed the advanced level, we send off in a manner that they will be respected, and also they are given a lot of mentoring sessions by the senior all boys. So I think these sessions are very, very important for the children. So I hope those who have joined right now will get the benefit of today's program. I have my pleasure in welcoming once again all those who are involved here, particularly Dr. Ramali, and also the panel members here, and Mr. Bari, the senior all boy engineer, Mr. Bari, coming forward to help us and to give very useful guidance for our students. Thank you very much. May Almighty Allah bless all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for your valuable words. And next for the keynote speech, and I call upon Sir A.G.A. Bari. If I speak about Sir A.G.A. Bari, he did advanced level in Zahira during 1955, and he obtained the best results, and he entered to the University of Ceylon at that time. And he is an engineer and an international consultant. Today, he is joining from Canada to speak to our students. Sir, this is over to you. Sir? Sir Ajay Bari, sir, I think your mic is on mute.
I had problem with my computer, unfortunately. I hope you have to bear with me. Sometime my computer may go off. I don't know.
Oh, okay, sir.
Is it
Thank you, sir.
my
You can
turn
continue.
now?
Your turn,
I've
sir. Now.
lost everything.
It's your turn, sir. Now
We can hear you now.
we can hear you now, sir.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Can you hear me now?
We can hear, sir. We can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Kareem. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Sallam ta'ala Ibrahim wa ala Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. I'm so pleased and happy to say a few words of encouragement to the new students on behalf of Zahira College, University alumni. I think I should thank the principal for giving us a very encouraging synopsis of Zahira, what they can do, what they intend doing, how they're going to help the students, inshallah. I also take this opportunity on behalf of the DUA to thank the panel and the members who are attending this. As far as I'm concerned, my first advice to the students who are sitting is not to worry, because we, the principal, myself, all of us went through your state today. We were all students at that time. When you were in 1955, I was a student just like you, wondering what to do. But my situation at that time was bad, worse. So the words I can say in one word is, if I can get into university, there is no reason why anyone else of you cannot get in. But my situation was worse for more than one reason. I was a good student, but I had so many things in my hand. I was an athlete, I was a rugby player, I was a cadet, I was a wrestler, I was a boxer, I was a cadet, I was in the shooting team, I was a prefect. So all this will definitely was stopping me from doing very well in studies as I wanted. So as a student, my advice is, first thing you have to make up your mind that you're going to get into university. Never mind about the other thing. I know at the age of 18, 17, 18, still in lots of things. But my advice for you at this age, at 17 plus 18, okay, just stop everything and concentrate only on your studies and make up your mind. I am going to get into university. That's the first thing you have to do. Unless you do that, you can't get ahead. So first of all, you have to make up your mind and get your priorities right. Stop few, if you are a good sportsman, stop few sports here and there. Select only one or two so that you can spend the time in studies. So once you have decided your career that you're going to get into university, that's the first thing you have to do. Then now you have to prioritize your time. Make sure that you have a good time management, good schedule. So spend a lot of time on your studies. Because at the end of the day, the university career is going to take you well in your life. Do not forget that, you know. I know being a good sportsman, if you're a wrestler, but you can do that. But it will give you only momentary pleasure. But if you want to have pleasure forever, you must have your degree. You must be a doctor. You must get into medicine. Therefore, make up your mind that you want to get into university. And with these facilities, Zahira College giving you, with the help of the old students who have come forward to help you all, make use of it. Make sure that you make up your mind to get into university, and then prioritize your work. Once you have your time schedule done, make sure you monitor and keep your time and monitor your progress. This is my advice. I'm repeating once again, if a boy like me can get into university, because at that time, our conditions were worse than yours, because we had only one university. For engineering, they only selected between 20, 40, maximum 40, then 60. During my time, we were lucky they increased the number to 60. Medical, the students, we had only one place where you can get into do medicine. So the things were difficult at that time, but still the Zahirian teacher gave us all the encouragement. I can tell you one incident when I was a prefect. Because in chemistry, we used to have weekly tests for the advanced level students. And I was supposed to maintain 90. But that particular week, I got 85. I was suspended being a prefect. In my courage came back to 90. The teachers also took a lot of interest. They were sort of keeping an eye on all the students, especially. So we were only about 15 or 16 sitting for the exam at that time for the era. Out of 15, about 14 of us got in that particular year. So because the teachers were so dedicated, they were keeping completely on us, and the students were told, okay, now we can stop everything else except studies for this year. Once you get into university, you will still have 6 to 8 months, and you can excel in sports at that time. So my advice to you people, youngsters who are sitting for the exam, is to concentrate on your studies, make up your program, follow up day by day, and if you have any question, make sure you tell your teachers, the masters, that, please keep an eye on me. We had to be after that, inshallah. Instead of my talking, I think I will leave. If you have any questions, I will be able to answer at that time. So I'm going to conclude. I'm wishing you all the best. And I'm sure the board of governors, the administrative principals, all these people are there to help you. So make use of the help, do your best, and leave the rest to Allah. Because unless you have Allah's guidance, this is another thing I would like to say, make sure that you depend on Allah. Do your best and ask Allah for assistance. May Allah help you all, and we'll see, inshallah, 100% results this year. And we wish Zahra College all the best. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much for your valuable words, sir. And I still remember the advice you gave us 10 years ago, sir. In the Gafur Hall, in a speech, you said, for my company, I'm ready to hire those who sat and failed the exam, but I will never hire a student who never applied for the advanced level. You didn't tell us us to fail the exam, but you emphasize how important advanced level is for a student. Actually, it made us to think at that time. And you are such an inspiration for the students, and may Almighty Allah bless you with a good health and will to guide the Mozarians in the future. Amin. Jazakallah khair, sir. And let's go into our main event. If I speak a few words of our moderator, he is a Zahirian from batch of 2006, and he is a professionally qualified engineer from University of Moratuwa. He is currently serving as a mathematics teacher and teacher educator of a leading private school in Colombo. He is none other than Mr. Nazri Imtiaz. Mr. Nazri Imtiaz, this is over to you.
Thank you, Azri, for that introduction. In the name of Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful, the chairman, the board of governors, members of the board of governors, principal, sir, members of the management, teachers, guest speakers, members of the ZUA, and other invitees. Assalamu alaikum to everyone. First and foremost, I would like to thank ZUA organizing this session in collaboration with the Zahira Center for Excellence. This is an international event. Meet your role model. I could see many speakers are joined from different parts of the world. We are happy to see you in this session. And my fellow Zahirians who are going to sit for their advanced level examination in the stream of bioscience. You have got a wonderful opportunity to make use today. I'm so sure that our speakers will guide you and help you to clear most of your doubts, and they will definitely going to inspire you with their words. The profession of a doctor is one of the most sought after profession of the world. So each year, millions of students were applying for the medicines. Only few of them make it through the other side. And also, unlike other professions, doctors have to invest a lot more time in their work. It is most confined, yes, to the 9 to, it's not confined to the 9 to 5 timing. If in fact, one has to take their own life at a risk to save their entire nation. You find in the COVID situation, the major role played by the doctors. So our today's session is to, form more doctors from Zaira, bioscience stream. We have two such renowned doctors present here with us today, Dr. Amali and Dr. Akram, who are definitely proud products of Zaira College, Colombo, and also a fellow Zairian who made us proud in the recent past year, Abdul Malik. And I'm very happy about you, and you made Zaira proud in the recent years, who is a student of Colombo Medical Faculty. Without further delay, I would like to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Mohammad Ramali, MBBS, MD, FRCA, FICM, consultant in intensive care medicine and anesthesia, research lead and education, supervisor, Colchester General Hospital, UK. Dr. Ramali, the session is over to you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much. I think I would have liked to add a few things onto the qualification, Zaira College from grade 3. Right. That was missing. Right. Okay, fine. Thank you very much. I'm so privileged, proud to be part of this. If you ask me, will I do this again? Definitely. Will I become a doctor again? Definitely. I've enjoyed this job so much. We've been challenged a bit during the last couple of years because of the COVID. As an ICU specialist, what can I say? It's been very busy these days. So this opportunity gives me to interact with people because most of the patients we come across in the hospital are asleep, either on a ventilator, and we have no way of talking to them. So this is also a way of letting my stress out. Okay, so I should thank Zaira College for who I am now and where I am. I've worked more than half of my career in a Western world. So it's not easy to work in a Western world. So I should be very grateful to Zaira College for giving me 3 things in my life, which Alhamdulillah, I was able to maintain it in home environment as well. So I joined Zaira College in 1971. So as any parents, I was originally from a small village called Valikama, Kapuata. So my parents wanted me to be educated in a Colombo school. So they brought me to Zaira College, and they wanted me to be in English medium. Apparently, I failed the English exam, so they said no. But they asked me to read a Sinhalese book. I just read. So there I go. I started my education in Sinhalese medium, and I have to thank the principal, Mr. Shafi Marika. He was a very strong disciplinarian. Vice principal, I remember the names because they were very good at maintaining discipline. Abe Gunawardana and Mr. Gajanayaka, our sectional head. So education is one thing which Zaira gave me. And on top of that, it gives me the faith which I'm following. So the prayers, how we start the assembly. So faith was another important part of my life, which I maintained. And the third one, during my small years, but I actually followed, I didn't know at that time, Mr. Bari, I had to, now reflecting back, I followed his advice on sports, and it gave me sports as well. So until O-level, I played cricket for Zaira, and I'm proud to say our chairman was my first captain. I was a 14-year-old boy. He picked me up to play for first 11. He was a captain. So those 3, combining education, faith, and sports will make you a good disciplinarian. When you have all 3, you get the trust of your teachers, you get the trust of your parents, and very important the discipline is in your life. Even now, I'm proud to say, as a Zaidian, which the school gave me all three, my colleagues in this Western hospital look at me as someone. The famous phrase is, "Oh, if Dr. Ramali says it should be right, oh, then we should be. It should be all right. Then we'll take his advice." So Alhamdulillah, I'm so proud for what Zaira has given me. So now, going back to the fellow students who go to uni or some are in the uni. So as Mr. Bari said, you have to sacrifice certain things. So after O-level, I didn't play cricket, concentrated on my A-level exams. So anyhow, you have to make some sacrifices to get through that exam. Without A-level, your next stage is degree. And there has been a lot of changes from my days and to you all. So as if somebody, or if it was my son, my daughter, I would tell to think the world as a world now. It's a global thing. There's a global market. So not everyone gets into university first time. So you have more chances, but don't be disheartened. The whole world is out there for you. And medicine is a fantastic profession. And as I said, I will do it again, because serving the human beings is a noble profession. Even our religion says that we should have doctors in the community. And more importantly, it's good, disciplined doctors, which we should be aiming for. So concentrate on your studies, work very hard. And this program itself, now this is a start, because as a doctor, I can say all these teenage years and adolescent years are not an easy year. I've been through that. I've done naughty things. So your brain at the moment, there's a part of a brain called frontal cortex, which is working really hard. All these wires are now getting connected. It's not matured yet from that. So you find it, these youngsters find it difficult to plan ahead. Sometimes they take risk more than we do. So you wouldn't have taken that risk when you are an adult. So it's like a tree growing. Initially, there'll be lots of branches. Then there is a stage where you prune them and make those branches very strong. So this is the stage you are at, that stage where those strong connection, your nerves and the neurons has to be pruned and then made strong. So that is where you need the guidance. So your guidance from the school, parents is very important, because you have to be, sometimes you might do things which you think fine, but actually that's too risky. So like driving a car, when you have a friend with you, you will drive it in a different way. When your parent or some elderly person is next to you, you'll drive it in a separated. You have to have that drawback and the guidance. So this is when the question session starts, I'll be more than happy to answer individual questions, but my advice is concentrate and get your A-level results and get into uni. If you can't get into uni in your home country, the whole world is out there. And as Mr. Principal said, we have to aim to become global citizens, and the world is getting smaller and smaller. Alhamdulillah, all the best. And later on, we'll be very, very happy to answer questions. That's about from me.
Thank you, Dr. Ramali, for those words of wisdom. Actually, he gave a lot of good advices for the present students about how to manage their education, plus their extracurricular activities. Also, Aga Bari also gave the same advices. Our next speaker of the day is Dr. Akram Mohammed, MD, Consultant Anesthetist, National Health Service UK, TV host and Health Talk with Dr. Akram, UK. Dr. Akram, the session is over to you.
Hi, thank you, young people. It's quite happy to be here. I'm Akram, by the way. How to start? I got inspired by Principal's speech and, of course, Mr. Aga Bari's speech. Well, I am a doctor. I'm a consultant anesthetist. I'm a pilot. I'm an author. I'm a TV presenter. I have a YouTube channel called Health Talk with Dr. Akram. I'll be doing lots of programs for you guys as well. And I also do a lot of charity work. One of the biggest one I have done was called Trail. In 2016, we walked from the north of Sri Lanka, the northern tip of Sri Lanka to southern tip of Sri Lanka. 36 of us who walked this whole length. Mahela Jayawardena was with us, Sangakkara was with us, two famous people. So what we did, we collected money on the way. We collected $4 million on the Sri Lankan streets. Even one of the beggars, he had given all his collection for that day to the cause. What did we do with this money? We have added up some more money from our pockets and our friends and everything. We collected 5 million. The government put another 6 million. We are building a cancer hospital in Karapitiya in the south. So that's one of the things we did, a great thing. Well, I am look very flamboyant. I'm doing lots of things. You must be thinking I come from a very privileged background, and I am not. And that's why I thought I will talk about my life here. So all the kids who are there, I think probably you were in my same situation when I was doing my A-levels and in Zaira College. Well, my family is from a small village in Kandy. It's about 10-15 kilometers from the Kandy town. And we were living in somewhere in the tea plantation areas. It's called Galhinna. Well, I went to school in Galhinna. One of the teachers, when I was about grade 5 or 6, and he pointed out, you're a clever child, you should go to Trinity College. My parents were both teachers, but they had 5 kids, so they didn't have enough money to send me to Trinity College. I was pretty upset by then. Well, but that did help me because I stayed in our village and studied, and I got the best results. Then that was my O-levels. Then I was looking for A-levels, but my parents didn't have enough money to send me to a place in Bettikalo or Jaffna because I was studying in Tamil medium. And that's the time the Zahira College scholarship came. Luckily, I got a scholarship to Zahira College, and I ended up in Zahira College and studied my A-levels. I am grateful for Zahira College for giving me that scholarship, and I was staying in the hostels. And I was fed free and was educated free from Zahira School. And that's why I'm here, where I am. That was one breaking point in my life. Coming to Zahira College and having that life in Colombo and interacting with a lot of children, that gave me a lot of inspiration. Even though I couldn't get into the Sri Lankan universities, I was in the Colombo district, few marks less. Well, we didn't have good teachers at school, but we struggled. In the end, I was quite lucky enough to get a scholarship, and I went to Romania. Well, there is a story behind Romania as well. When I got the scholarship, well, we didn't look for a scholarship. That was during ACS Hamid, who was foreign minister. So my father was used to be a small principal in a small school, so he had met ACS Hamid a few times. So somebody said, why don't you take your son? He has finished his A-levels, get him a job in Colombo in some kacheri or somewhere, because that was my parents were looking for. So we went there, and on the way to meet Mr. Hamid, and was one of my teachers from my young age was there. He said, no, you should not go for a job. Go and ask him for a scholarship. My father said, no, we don't have money for me to send you to any scholarship. So when we went there, my father started talking. ACS Hamid said, can your son speak? I said, then he started to say something. So I said, yes, I can speak. Then he said, what do you want to do, son? I said, I heard about a scholarship. And he said, well, today the Romanian ambassador rang and he said, there's a scholarship to Romania. Do you want to go? And first of all, I said, yes. But by that time, I didn't know where is Romania. I thought it was Rome, Italy. But my father was pretty upset. When he came back, I had a big blasting from my father. He was telling, said, now, okay, you said you agreed for this, and how am I going to send? I don't have money to send you. but still we went to the Romanian embassy and we got the form signed, came back. It was a big, argument and all these things because, my parents were poor, like most of your parents at that time. So finally we decided I'm not going there. So I applied for other jobs and I got a job as an SI, Sri Lankan police, and I applied a couple of other jobs in the Kacheri. I applied all, but they all came at one point. And before that, there was a Romanian guy there was a Sri Lankan guy who studied in Romania who was back, and he went to the embassy and he heard about me, and he wrote a letter, a big letter, and certain bits I can still remember he has written in red. He said, if you don't go for the scholarship, you are destroying a chance of another Sri Lankan kids. Who would I go into the scholarship? And this point really hit into my parents' heart. And they said, well, God, I'm emotional. We don't have money, but we'll look for it now. And what they did, they told the people in the village. They said, a few people, good people like us, what we're trying to do, came forward. Well, a few uncles, Rafiq uncle, few uncles, I forgot their names now. They came to my house and they said, look, we will collect some money. We'll collect some money, we'll send him to study. So they went around and they collected money for my ticket. My uncles bought me some clothing. One of my friends bought me a suitcase. Yes, exactly like that. Then my father gave me $280 and he said, this is what I can give you. And that particular day, we booked the car to go to Colombo, to the airport. I got 3 letters from the post. 3 jobs came out. The SI job, the Colombo Kacheri job, Colombo Telecom job. And one of the guys from the Kacheri, I think they came in a motorbike like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They said, you got a job, and we decided to deliver the letter personally. So and my father said he's going to Romania. So, okay. I left to Romania with $280. That's 1989 during communist time. And by that time, I didn't even know what was Romania looked like. And nobody had been to Romania. We had no connections. And the ambassador said, when you go to Romania, you go to Intercontinental Hotel. And from there, he gave me a letter, you go to this place and they will sort you out. Well, I was very young with you guys and excited. I said, okay, go for it, fine. But I didn't realize by that time, if I would have gone to Intercontinental Hotel, I would have finished my money in a day. In Russia, I had a transit for a few days. That was during the communist time. I met an African girl who was also going for same school. And she said, Akram, don't go there. You will finish the money, because she knew a little bit about these prices for the hotels. So there is another place. It's called a transit place. We go there and they will sort you out. Okay, well, I go to the transit place with her. There's an African man walking around and he picked us up. I said, oh, new students? Okay, fine. I know a Sri Lankan student who's studying. So that's how I got into a guy called Dhammika, who was doing engineering in Romania. We didn't know anything about him before. So I landed up in his place. Then after that, they sorted me out. They were there for 1 year. And they finished their schools and they left. So I was there for 5 years alone in Romania without any Sri Lankan, of course. But there were lots of other students like me, Africa, from Middle East, from Romanian students. I have still lots of good Romanian friends. Well, thank for that. But I had gone through real hardship. I had only $280 in my pocket and I had to live for 6 years. As a medical school, 1 year for language. How I lived, well, I have worked here and there and the God was in my side. I had help. I helped people. They gave me some money, things like that. And I went to Italy after my first year, first vacation, the summer vacation. We had 3 months and I went and I washed toilets in some Italians' house and cleaned their houses. And they gave me clothes. They gave me some money. So that was enough for me for 1 year. to live. So I was doing these all odd jobs in my summer holidays, come back in Romania, finish my school, went back the second year, did the same thing. So third year and onward, I couldn't go to Italy because they stopped giving visas to Sri Lankans. So I was fine. I was not worried much. Around when I reached about 50 and 60, I didn't have no money at all. My Romanian friends would bring me food, sometimes potatoes, things like that. But anyway, managed to finish my school. But when I went to first year into Italy, there is another breaking point here. I met a lot of Sri Lankan guys. They said, why the hell you go to Sri Lanka, to Romania and study that's communist place? You will not earn money. You stay in Italy, you can earn 1,000 Italian lira, those tapes called 1,000 liras. That's a lot of money. If you stay for 1 year, you could build a house for your parents. You have 3 sisters. You could get them married. You know, you could achieve these things in 2-3 years. I asked my parents, said, oh, that's a great choice. You know, you should do that. Because we are also suffering here and you are studying there. So why don't you do them? Be in Italy. But at one point, over a night, I was sleeping. I thought, no, I can't stay here. I'm going back. And the following day, I went back to Romania and started my studies. Well, now if I think where I am now and the Italians who advised me there, everything I would have lost in Italy being there, I have earned in UK in 1 year, where I reached. Then I came back, then I studied in Romania, finished my schools and came back to Sri Lanka. And by that time, my parents, you know, they see doctors with the long sleeve shirts and nice cars. And I came out without anything. My first salary was working in Kalutara as a trainee doctor. This is called familiarization. My salary was 5,000 rupees. I was traveling in buses. My parents were pretty upset. And people in the village said, why the hell is he traveling in a bus? I said, I don't have money. And I was happy with it because I'm a normal citizen in the country. Why can't I travel in a bus with another fellow passenger? So that was my attitude. And my second job as an internship, I did it in Mathura. By then, my salary was a bit better, 15,000 rupees. I would still travel in the bus. My mom was not happy. She said, oh, you should start a private clinic, you know, all these things. 1 minute left. Okay, thank you. They said, you should start doing private. But private never worked for me. I thought it's unfair for me to do private. I'd rather pursue my career in medicine and concentrate on it. Anyway, after that, my first job was in Mana. Mana, nobody wanted to go because that's during the wartime. A lot of my fellow doctors left their jobs and they started working in private sector, things like that in Colombo because it was war. I went to Mana and I had the best time. Of course, it was dangerous during the war. And that's why I wrote a book as well about flying with flamingos. That's all happens in Mana, as that happened later. Then after that, I come back to Colombo and I got I got a job in the UK, but I didn't have enough money to buy my flight tickets. My friends were about to help me, but I said, no, I have to do it myself. So I went for a dinner dance and they were having a raffle. And I said, if I win the first raffle, they will give me a ticket to Germany. And well, I won the ticket and I got a ticket and that ticket was for Germany, but I managed Sri Lankan Airlines to change it for UK. And I landed in the UK without any money, with that free ticket. Maybe I had some borrowed money from other friends. And well, I'm here now. Guys, so life is not impossible. You can do it. If I did it, you can do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Akram, for your inspiring life story. I'm pretty sure most of you would have learned many experience that doctor had, and happy to see the families are backing when you're doing medicine. It's very difficult. Second, you know, some students after the advanced level examination, they used to always direct themselves for work, but you should have a courage. You know, if you have the courage to learn, achieve your goals, definitely you have a way to achieve that one. So Dr. Akram very clearly, you know, gave us few instruction and the advices how to, you know, achieve our goals in our life. And Dr. Akram, wish you all the very best, and wish
Thank
you
you.
that all your charity works come in a successful way. Next, we have our very junior member of ZUA, Abdul Malik. Are you there in the session, Abdul Malik?
Yes, sir.
All right, congratulations for getting into Colombo Medicine faculty. It's a very tough task. It's nothing to express about that. I'm really happy about you as a Zairian, and we all are very happy. We would like to introduce you, our next speaker, Abdul Malik, the best performer in 2019 Advanced Level Examination, and the undergraduate student of Faculty of Medicine, University of Colombo. Abdul Malik, the session is over to you.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm
Salam.
Abdul Malik. I was able to get 3 A's in the 2019 GC Advanced Level Examination with an IZ score of 2.64, making it possible for me to enter the University of Colombo, which is the most prestigious university of Sri Lanka. I have been studying in Zaira College since 2006, and I am very proud to say that the main reason for everything I have achieved so far is because of my alma mater. So as I don't have much to share with you, I thought of giving you some tips of how to get through this A-level examination. Something I have experienced in my A-level life was that the advanced level exam was more about hard working than knowledge. It is the experience you gain by repeatedly practicing that makes you able to get a higher score in the exams. There were plenty of students who were really smart, but they failed to get through because they didn't work enough. Just because you think that you're smart doesn't help you to get a good grade. You should always revise everything that you have learned so far, and also do a huge amount of exercises and solve a ton of sums. So always keep in mind that A-level period is a deciding phase of your life. You should fully focus on the exam for these 2 years, because this is the exam that is going to change your entire life. If you're not able to invest just 2 years of your life for this life-altering decision, you will have to regret for the rest of your life. All of you should motivate yourselves to get through A-levels from the first try itself. Don't think of second try as an option, because that will demotivate you. Yes, you will have to face a lot of hardships within these 2 years, but you will have to study for hours, you will have to sacrifice your sleep, and also you will have to reduce the time that you spend on extra activities and fully focus on studying. I know there are some students who can manage everything at once, but most of the time it's impossible. So it's better to focus on studying for these 2 years and spend the rest of your life whatever the way you need. Because A-level is one of the most competitive exams in the world. So getting through it requires a ton of hard work. But of course, it's not impossible. Even I was just a normal kid. I spent time with my friends, watched TV, played games, but still my main focus was on study. And also, we should never forget that we are Muslims. Where I used to pray 5 times a day, and also I used to recite the Quran every day, at least 5 to 10 minutes before I started studying. So I hope that helped me to get, because I had the blessings of Almighty, I could study very well. So what I had to say finally is start working and do your best and show the world what you're capable of. And I have to thank brother Azrini Has, for inviting me to join this program. It's an honor to be here as a speaker alongside Dr. Ramali and Dr. Akram. And also I'm looking forward to answer the questions that the students have. Thank you.
Right. So we have come to the end of the three speeches of the day. And summarizing the speeches that we had, I got very good information from Dr.
Nasvi,
Amali.
can I interrupt you for a minute?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Nasvi, can I interrupt for a minute?
Yes,
With your
go ahead,
permission,
yes,
I must thank Dr. Akram. I think I was too emotional when he was delivering his life story. I mean, for every one of us, I must first thank him for coming over here to give his inspirational words about his success. But at the same time, I regret, I mean, he has to recall all these pleasant and unpleasant memories of his life. I think a success of a person, maybe Allah has prepared him in such a difficult path so that he will be useful to the society, he will understand the difficulties of people. So a lot of charity work and a lot of things could, all of a sudden you can't do. I mean, if you are born with a silver spoon, you will not feel really. Now he had come through all the way, and our children, our parents, a lot of time come out with a lot of grievances, telling the phone is not there, signal is not there, laptop is not there, all sorts of excuses. But if you look at these successful, Dr. Akram, I'm really watching your programs. I'm really interested to know how you present those programs. I used to tell my students to watch this and to get some tips for their life. And also our medical student, Master Malik, and he started from grade 1 and grade 5 scholarship winner. He remained at the school, and then grade 11, 9A set O level, remain in the school, and he trusted, he believed our college, and then he proceeded to get 3As and Z score, higher Z score. And mind you, he is also a single medium student. Dr. Akram is a Tamil medium student. I'm sure Dr. Ramali is also Tamil medium student. Am I right?
No, I studied single medium.
A single medium once again. You see, what I want to prove that after having studied in single medium and Tamil medium, and now they are in UK and they are doing, many people are coming to get advice from them. So I think the limit is the sky. Everyone can reach this. So we are very much fortunate at this forum to get these real life experiences, so that there's no reason for the students to get disheartened or to discourage. So I think today you are getting a very direct experience from these gentlemen, and the children can ask all these questions and get clarified their doubts, and you must determine to achieve success. Rasmi, I'm very sorry, but I am prompted to talk to you because I was also very emotional, and I'm grateful to these two gentlemen for coming over and to speak to these boys. I think these boys are really inspired on that. Rasmi, Nasvi, over to you.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. So let me summarize the three speeches now. Number one, students, when you are studying, you make sure that you are focused. Even Dr. Amali, he was very clearly mentioning about our discipline. If you don't have proper discipline, if you don't have a faith in you and proper education, you are not going to be successful in your life. Moving towards the Dr. Akram's speech, he was really determined. He wanted to do somehow the medicine, and he had the family background also. Family support he had. Plus, what you see is the hardship, as principal told. Never give up. If you have opportunity to grab your opportunities. So he got a scholarship. He didn't want to give up. He grabbed that opportunity. We can see a very inspiring gentleman, Dr. Akram here. And as very correctly principal sir told, language is not a barrier. Right? I studied in Sinhalese medium up to advanced level class from grade 1 to grade 13 in Sinhalese medium. But still, now I am a teacher who is educating the teachers plus the students in English medium. Right? So language is not a barrier. If you think that you are studying in Sinhala medium and you will not go higher level in your career, It's wrong. We all started English medium education after our advanced level. Also, we were inspired by many old Zairians then. They came and gave very good speeches about the language barrier. And I was motivated with many speeches. My uncle called Mr. Monshif and Mr. Azmi. Those days they came and gave very good speeches and we were inspired. Even though I'm an engineer, I'm very happy with the profession of teaching. Right? And also I would like to add to Malik's speech, and some students are there who obtain 9 A's, who forget their alma mater, who leave school, and it will be, great loss for our, our own college. So we humbly request, if your brothers are there in the junior classes, please advise them. Zaira will provide the best facility for you to do your advanced level, bioscience stream in Zaira. When we were studying, we didn't have a proper laboratory. That year, 2005, Mr. Fawzul Lamid, then it was his first year. We gave our advanced level project. Our advanced level project was renovating the laboratory. That was our advanced level project because we thought we should leave something for our juniors, right? We did that. We renovated. I think we painted and we found some chemicals and a lot of things we did. It took around 3.5 months for us to finish that project. So we did that for Zaira. So I request the present students who are in this session, make sure that you leave something for your juniors. That intention, if you have, you are definitely going to succeed in your life. My father earned only 2,500 rupees monthly salary, right? I'm earning more than 100,000 in Sri Lanka in my only one profession, right? That is about our dedication. So you also, committed towards your studies, definitely you are going to prosper, and you have the support of our alma mater too. I always respect Zaira. I love Zaira, right? So I am succeeding in my life because of my alma mater. I would like to add that note. Change is important, student, as Malik told. If you are still onto the traditional, learning, you see, during the pandemic, we had to change to online situation. If you think, no, online is not working for us, we can't focus on our studies, it's not going to work for you, students. Definitely, you have to change according to the situation. That is important. And the blessings of the Almighty and the parents also important, as Abdul Malik told. So thank you all the speakers. And we have a very important session now, that is Q&A session. Let me share the screen for the Q&A session. Is it possible for me to share this Q&A screen? Azri?
Just give me a minute.
Could you please? And in the meantime, I would like to remind our viewers who are from the YouTube, you can comment who have joined through live YouTube, you can comment on the video. Our technical team will direct your comments to this session. Can I share the screen?
Now you can share, Mr. Anas, yes.
Okay.
Now you are the host.
Okay, give me a second. I would like to our guest speakers. The first question. Dr. Akram, would you like to advise on this, how to plan their future life via the biology stream? That's a question from a student.
Okay, this is a quite interesting question. This is how to plan a future via biology stream. I think first of all, we have to realize medicine is not the end of the biology stream. Medicine is one of it. So you always, if you want to target medicine, you target for it. But in case if you don't succeed, you have next options. What you could do. There is always, if there is a way to get a scholarship, you can get a scholarship and go and study some other country. And you can always study in the private sector, or if your parents can spend some money, you can always go and study medicine abroad. There are lots of places you could study, from the US to UK to cheaper places. You could go in Eastern Europe, or in the Western Europe you can study. The medicine is not very expensive. The cheapest one I found at the moment is in one of the Russian provinces called Kyrgyzstan. The tuition fees is about $2,000 US a year, and it costs about 2,500 altogether per year. So it's not very much if the parents can afford it. So that's the first one you want to do. So the next option is, there are a lot of other jobs you could do in the biology streams. The pharmacy is the next one, and the X-ray technicians in the hospital, they also do they also come through the biology stream. Then you have the lab technicians. They also study very similar to medical stuff. And the physiotherapist, they also have a really professional job. It's really upcoming job. And there are lots of jobs in the private sector, and you could work in private hospitals, in the government hospitals, and even for helping your family, parents, and you could do a lot of private sector there. Like if you think about, there are physios. They call it the physios for sportsmen. Mahela, Sangakara, they have their own physios. When they're walking with us, the physios were there around with us. So these people earn very decent money, and they have very nice flamboyant life, the physios, because they are moving with these celebrities and people like that. They have these capacities. They could go. So always, guys, so don't keep your mind closed to just medicine, and don't be disheartened if you didn't get medicine. There's only certain amount of people can go into medical universities. Of course, we will always try, and first time, second time, third time, if you don't like, if you still couldn't get it, maybe your destination is somewhere else, and you could always win there. Be a nice physio, be a nice radiographer, lab technician. There are a lot of other jobs. Nursing, even nursing is a noble job. If you work in the UK as a nurse, you have a very, very decent life here. And of course, you could, as a nurse, you could move around all around the world. And there is another profession called operating department practitioners. That's also a very good job, and you assist in the theaters, and you can assist for major surgeries, like even open heart surgeries. You can assist there. So these are the places that you could go. So don't be disheartened to be in biology stream that you left out and end up in PETA supermarket. There's nothing wrong with PETA supermarket, but I want you guys to have degrees.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Akram. I hope these questions are in fact forwarded by the participants when we ask them to fill the Google form. What are their doubtful area that they need to get clarified from our guest speakers? We had these questions from them. I'm sure that the question was well answered by Dr. Akram. And also, let me remind about the Sinhala medium and Tamil medium students. සිංහල මාධ්‍ය හෝ දෙමළ මාධ්‍යෙන් ඉගෙන ගත්තා හෝ ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. ඔබට මොන හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා නම් ඔබට පුළුවන් මේ ඔබ ඔන්ලයින් සහභාගී වෙනවා නම් Zoom තාක්ෂණය හරහා ඔබේ ප්‍රශ්නය අපිට සටහන් කරන්න chat හරහා අපිට සටහන් කරන්න. අපි ඒක අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම අපේ ආරාධිත the guest speakers will definitely help you to clear your doubts. Right. Let's move on to the second question. I would like to give the same question to Dr. Akram. This is another question raised by participants here today. Career guidance and the pathways available to pursue one's education and build up suitable qualification which would enable one's opportunity for being employed. Skill development. So they want you to advise on what type of skill development that they should build for their bioscience stream or for their career path.
For career path, I think I have answered most of the relevant for this question as well in the previous answer. But anyway, what I could add up is it's always you have to build up your personality. That's really important, to build up your personality for any job. Even to be a businessman or even to be a cleaner in the road. But if you have a better personality, you have a better chance in the society. right? So build up your personality and interaction with other people, how to respect the other people, how to listen to other people and get advice from the other people and go ahead. These things will help these things wherever you're going. And always don't give up. If you have a dream, if you want to do something, you have to work hard now. And I always tell my son, he is 15 years old, I said, you know, in your life, you have to work hard until you are grade 12. The most hardest is grade 10 to 12. That's the last bit. That will decide whether you're going to have a comfortable rest of your life or you're going to have a difficult rest of the life. So in that 2 years, guys, if you play around and if you mess up your life, you're going to have a tough life in the future. But if you sit down those 2 years, study hard, and you get into university, it doesn't matter. You do bioscience or it doesn't matter. You do dentistry, you do a veterinary science, anything. But whatever you do it right, and your future will be blessed. The nature is like that. You work hard, the nature will provide you the best resources it has. Right. So I think this what is there, and I'm going to release a YouTube program as well. As there's 6 topics. It's a friend of mine who has is Udara Kularatna. He in 1986, I think. Yeah, that's the time I did A levels. Yeah. So he was similar batch with me, but he studied one of the Sinhalese schools. I don't know where he studies. But he is one of the guys who topped in every exams. In grade 5 exams, he was the top in the Sri Lanka. Grade 10, he was the top in Sri Lanka. Then A level, he was top. And he had a scholarship. He went to Australia. He learned their engineering. He became an engineer. He worked as an engineer for a few years. He worked in Singapore. Then he came to UK. Then UK, he decides, no, this job is not for me. And he decided to do investment banking because that's the place where you have loads of money. You know, even investment banking in the UK, if you go into that area as in the beginning, you might earn about £100,000 from your first salary. So he worked there for a few years. Then after a few years, he decided, no, this is not my career. Then he went and studied medicine. Now he's a consultant radiologist, and that's the chap who wrote this book, and where he shares, the book is called The Exam Tips for Kids, and how he succeeded in 100-odd exams, how he succeeded. So I got him down to my place, and we have done 6 videos, and we'll release them slowly. So the students, please watch them and learn from Udara's techniques, how he had managed to do it, because this will help you. Hope that helps with my answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. I think we could move on to the next question also similar to this. So let me move on to the 4th question. Yes, this is the 4th question. I would like to give this question to Dr. Ramali. Would you like to advise on this, expecting the, I think we have already shared many experiences about their life.
Sorry, I didn't get that. What exactly the question was? The same question you asked?
The question is from the student. The student is asking how to get into our exact subject-oriented work during the advanced level classes. How to build up our mind to become a doctor. Yeah.
Excuse me, Mr. Nazim. I think you skipped the question number 4, I think.
Is it question 5 now? Yeah.
Yeah, question number 4, I'll give it to Dr. Akram. I thought of giving you a break.
Oh, okay, fine. Oh, okay, fine.
Okay, so as Dr. Akram said, the advanced level is very important. So I was telling that earlier, the whole world is out there. So he mentioned so many examples, even engineers becoming doctors. So focus on that. So the current climate is not easy to be focused. And I personally have been through that because I think it was mid-80s when I did the A-level, there was this insurgency and our university was closed for 2 years. So you have to, that is the most difficult period where you have to be very focused. So do something, you can't be studying all the time. So try and take that opportunity to stay healthy, because you don't want to be putting on weight during that time, because that will take your thinking away a bit. And also do something very useful. So personally, what I did was, during that time, to keep me focused, I learned driving, and I was taking my uncle to work as a driver. I was not paid, but he was looking after me. So that was a 2-year period where everything was closed. I'm sure our seniors will remember those days, where the whole country was at standstill. So for the current people, this current climate, you have to stay focused. Very important, your end point, because as Dr. Akram also said, without a degree, without getting into university, it's not going to take you anywhere. So that is your first hurdle. Once you get that degree, you can, as I said, the whole world is there. So you can go and do more courses, your MSc, MBA, whatever. So it's very important to stay focused and get that degree. It's not easy. It's easy for me to say from here. Talk to people. That's very important. We are always there to advise. I'm sure what the arrangement, I'm sure Principal Sir mentioned about how to look after mentoring programs and all. As I'm happy to be called, any difficult student who wants to do medicine, finding it hard to stay focused, because as doctors, we have been trained to be mentors, we have been trained to be teachers, and we have been trained to be leaders. So it naturally comes being a doctor. So that's the advice I can give you.
Thank you, Dr. Akram. The next question, in fact, the fourth question, I would like to forward to Dr. Amli. Yes, would you like to advise on this, or shall we ask Dr. Akram? Yes, Dr. Akram, would you like to advise on this? Based on the current situation in Sri Lanka, is it advisable to wait for admission into state universities or look for private universities? This was one of the questions raised by a student.
Okay, this is a very, very interesting question. You know, well, when you think about the future and destiny, there is no great answer for this question as well. But, well, it's two different things. If you're going to study in Sri Lanka, I can give some examples from my family as well. They're two my nieces. They're quite similar age. My two sisters' daughters. One of them was doing an art stream, and the other was did physical science. I think, yeah, the science stream. Because she didn't get medicine, and she decided she was in Kandy, and she went to one of the colleges in Kandy. She did the bioscience degree. So she did it in the private sector. It's semi-government. Is government recognized one in Pallekale or somewhere. I can find out if anybody is interested in the future. But where she went, that place, she did the course within 2 or 3 years, given time, without any strikes in Sri Lanka, right? Because there are lots of strike happening in government universities at the moment for the students, because everything has been given free. They can strike for anything. Even the toilet doesn't work, they will strike the university and they'll stop the education. But in the private places, because they are paying, they never strike. So she has completely gone through whole her career, that university thing. And about a few months back, she has got a job already. She's got a job as a teacher in our village. And my second sister's daughter, she get a better result. So she got selected to the government university. So she is in Polonnaruwa, but she's doing some kind of arts course. Since she's in this government college, there have been lots of strike by minor staff, the students, the tutors, and I know, you name it. Everybody had strike, and she lost about 2 years already, and she hasn't finished her university. They both should have finished at a similar time. That is for, like, generally if you're not doing medicine. But if you're going to do medicine, becomes a bit difficult. If you had a government university in Sri Lanka, it's all paid by the government. So you don't pay anything for that tuition. But if you're going to go for a private university, you have to pay. But on the other hand, if your parents are happy, I mean, if they're wealthy, if they have money to send you abroad, like if you can come to UK and learn medicine, of course, if your parents can afford it, you should come and learn here, because after that they have your high chance, you have a better degree from UK, you can always work here, there is a possibility, and you can even get work in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, because it's a better degree. But this is depends on your family situation as well, and if the parents are happy to invest money on you. But again, I advise for the parents, the best investment you could do is on your children's studies. Buying, you buying a shop and buying land and these things anywhere will not take you much, because even if you had a land for, let's say, I don't know how many million, but the child, if he doesn't succeed, he will finish that in 1 or 2 years. But if you have given him the right education, you don't have to give them anything more. And our parents, they didn't give anything apart from education. And that's why we are here. So this is, again, coming back to your answer, it is always personal. But guys, if you have like a particular situation, please come back to me or Ramali. We will advise you on the particular situation.
Thank you, Dr. Akram. It was a very good advice about the private universities and the state universities. Let me move on to the next question. This question is for Dr. Ramali. Yes, this is one of the questions. How to ensure that a certain institute provides a trustable service, and what criteria should we select our degree programs? I think he's definitely referring about the bioscience stream.
Yeah, so science stream, I'm assuming you're going to be doing medicine. We have a limited number of medical schools in Sri Lanka. They are top standard, and it doesn't matter which university you pass out from, you can do your postgraduate degree, because it's very important. Once you pass out as a doctor, you should not stop there. You should go on to become a specialist. So luckily, all the medical colleges, state ones in Sri Lanka, are recognized, and the General Medical Council recognizes them. So you have postgraduate degree programs. So there is not much select you. If you work hard, you get into a university, just to the university, do the medical program or medical degree you are getting into, because it will take you the whole specialties out there once you finish your medical degree. But it's more important when you select the degree programs abroad. Then you have to be more selective. So that's itself is a different subject, but I can spend a little bit time to say that you have to make sure they are GMC recognized, and you have to make sure it's recognized in Sri Lanka as well by the Sri Lanka Medical Council. Because when you come back, you have to do another exam just to get familiarized with it. And once you do that exam, and there is no discrimination, you can get into your postgraduate degree programs from Sri Lanka. And if that university is recognized abroad, you can do what is known as a PLAB exam. And once you pass your PLAB exam, you come here and you can start working and get into training. So that my answer. If it's a university abroad, you have to be very careful selecting them, because there are league tables given, and the sites will tell whether they are recognized in Sri Lanka as well as in General Medical Council.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Ramali. And also another question for you. This question also about the biomedical science stream. Would you like to advise on this? I have screen shared the requirement of the child, whether it's substitute degree program for MBBS or it'll be a recognized one, whether they can do the MD postgraduate degree later. Would you like to advise on this, Dr. Ramli?
Yeah. So again, this is completely separate in Sri Lanka and abroad. So I know in Sri Lanka as well as in UK. So the biomedical science, I think it's, I don't know, it's not a substitute for MBBS. No, they don't end up being a doctor doing biomedical science. So there are jobs available for that. So maybe you can work in medical sector, health department, you can look after equipments, or that's a different pathway. You don't end up being a doctor. But I don't think it's available in Sri Lanka. In other countries, you can get into MBBS degree program using your biomedical degree. So it's called graduate entry or graduate entry MBBS program. Sri Lanka has only one pathway, which is A-level. Whereas in UK, I know you have a pathway from A-level. Sometimes we feel that immediately after A-level, students may not be mature enough to get into a medical course. They may not last 5 years of that hard work. So they go and get a degree, 3-year degree. It could be anything. Even they can do a non-medical related degree and apply as a graduate entrance to do their MBBS and finish the MBBS course. So they will have 2 degrees, BSc or MD and MBBS. So the duration usually for biomedical science is 3 years. And again, if they're asking to the cost, if it's a private one, they're asking for the cost, because if it's a state one, state university, I don't think there's a cost involved apart from your daily day-to-day. So yeah, but don't be disheartened. That's another way. You get your biomedical degree, and there are jobs, and also there's an option. By that time, your circumstances may have changed. You may be having access to scholarships. You may be having access to go abroad and study. So that's my advice nowadays is, if somebody wants to do medicine, if they are very well determined, they will eventually get there if you have put in big effort, even though they don't get into a state university. So the chances are higher now than good olden days, because the scholarships are there. You can go into private sector. Even I think people are struggling. I don't know what later on in future, maybe even for selected students, I don't even ZUA may be able to help. So we don't know. Those things will be discussed as and when needed. So that's my advice.
Thank you, Dr. Ramali. I think we are running out of time, so let's quickly move on to the next question. A student would like to know about the best study system to get best results. I would like to forward this question to Abdul Malik. Abdul Malik, are you there in the session? Abdul Malik, if you could unmute and speak. Abdul Malik, yes, you can unmute and speak. Right. Let me forward this question to Dr. Ramali. Would you like to advise on this? I know that they're looking for. Yes, please.
That's fine. So I know between 1982 when I did LOL. So I think one thing is still common. So what I know about what are the best system to get best results here. So we're all different. So the way we do things are different. So it has to be individualized. So some people may have to spend a long time to get the best memory, or some people will have to spend a little bit time. So the system wise, make sure you attend your classes. Make sure you have a way of remembering things. Like it's a long topic. Like people like to cram all night. I don't think that's going to help. The sleep is also important, because you have something called REM sleep, where without you knowing, your brain, when you are asleep, is going to be revising for you if you have that amount of sleep. So rather than getting that sleep, if you try to cram more, so make sure you have adequate sleep and be healthy. And there are enough supports in the school. Recall is very important, revision. And practice, I think for all the exams, it's the same. It's so competitive. That 2 years of sacrificing it's going to get you into medicine, which is as I said, it's a very noble. So you have to look at that end result and work hard for it. So I don't know what I could have been ideally answered by Malik, but he's gone through that recently, whereas we went through it a while ago. But I've done exam even recently with my family, my medical exam. So nothing substitute to hard work.
Right. Malik, Abdul Malik, would you also like to add few comments on that? Abdul Malik, are you there?
Can I add a few? If Abdul Malik is not there, I'll talk to you a bit.
I think Abdul Malik is there now. Abdul Malik is there. Abdul Malik?
Dr. Akram, yes, you can go ahead. Dr.
Yeah,
Akram.
actually, the same thing what you're talking about. I was doing this program. I was recording this Dr. Udara's exam tips for kids, and where he explains everything very clearly and simply. What he basically says
I think
is,
Abdul Malik brother.
Yes, Dr. Akram, please go ahead.
yeah, what he basically says is you should start doing questions from the day you start reading. Like if you read a section, straight away go back and start doing some questions. So the best thing is, while you collect your books, and collect some past papers or question papers as well. So you do, let's say you studied today about the heart, and straight away go and do some questions in heart. So that's how your brain will remember it, because you're going to question your brain, have you understood or not? And that's the time the brain will try to keep them in the brain as well, as a memory, because the brain thinks this is important. But if you just read from one end to the other end, brain doesn't know what to memorize. It's like for a computer, if you keep feeding stuff, a lot of stuff, the computer cannot pick up what is important, but you have to give that important things. So that is one. The other thing is the timing is really important. In Sri Lanka, there is mostly a perception that if somebody wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning and study, he will always pass. And I have realized it very late that was wrong, because I was forced to wake up at 4 o'clock and study, and it never worked for me because my brain doesn't work like that. I have to wake up around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and from there I could work throughout till 4, 5 o'clock. And that time I could work. So this is called the night owls and early birds. You could read about it, and in the video we explain it very well as well. So you have to follow your circadian rhythm when you can actively work. So let's say you wake up at say 8 o'clock, and that's the time your brain is fresh, and you go for a subject which is very difficult. Let's say you find it physics very difficult. So you learn physics when your brain is completely fresh. And the next subject, the easiest subject, you go and learn when you're a bit relaxed. Your brain is kind of, you studied for a couple of hours, you're getting tired. And that's the time you can go and touch this one, because it's easy and the brain will be able to process it. But again, same thing for some other kids, they could they're really good in sleep. They could study till very late, like till 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the night. I found in the Romanian university, some kids, they could stay very late and study, but they could still remember. But if you can't wake up, if you can't stay late and study, don't force your brain. If your brain is tired, go have a nap or something, come back and study. In this way, you will get more information into your brain. This is not you are trying to cram more information for something, because you have to work with your body and what your brain's capacity.
And that's your teenage brain speaking our next program.
Yeah, teenage brain is coming as well. Yeah, that'll be really useful. We're preparing that program. This is all about the teenage brain and why they are weird, because the wiring has gone wrong. Like the Indian telephone system, the wires are everywhere, but it still functions. It's something like that. I think
it's very important what he told, was because I've been reading about it as well. The teenagers' peak time is that time where they have a good sleep and they revise in sleep, REM sleep. If you try to wake them up at that time, you know how difficult you find it difficult. I think there have been recommendation in some other countries, the school should start at 9, not at 7. Because of that particular, their concentration is better, and naturally their brain works for them to go to sleep later, because the hormone melatonin is starting it's after midnight. So it's a different topic.
Yeah, but guys, and again, this the studying is for you. If you're trying to cheat your parents or teachers, you're not cheating anyone, you're cheating yourselves. So you have to be very honest for yourself how many hours effectively you study. That is really important. How many hours effectively you study, and that study get processed in your brain. And question, past papers from the start. That's how you will understand what is your syllabus and what the questions asked upon.
Right. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Akram. Right. Abdul Malik, would you also like to add few techniques for the students to, adopt when they are studying the medical,
Yes.
bioscience?
Sorry, I lost connection
No problem,
because of
Abdul
the
Malik.
bad weather here.
No problem.
I
You
keep
can go ahead.
the camera on off.
No problem. You can
Well,
join audio only.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Abdul Malik.
So all of you should keep in mind that the technique depends on the student. Sometimes my technique would not suit you. First thing is you should find your own technique. I studied according to a timetable. I allocated about 2 days for each subject, like 2 days for biology, 2 days for chemistry, and 2 days for physics, likewise. And I chose one of the 3 subjects on the remaining day, depending on the amount of work I have to cover. Physics was my weak point, so I focused mainly on physics while also studying bio and chemistry. I did my physics homework repeatedly. I did a lot of past papers, term test papers of other prestigious schools, and model papers too. Physics is a subject which you should always keep in touch. If you don't practice regularly, you gradually lose interest. So for physics, the best way is to at least do 2 to 3 sums a day. Don't worry about getting a wrong answer. Just do. You could never become a pro in physics if you keep trying to understand the concepts. The only way to understand the concepts in physics is to apply it to problems and try to solve them. At the beginning, you might not see any relevance, but when you keep trying, finally you will be able to quickly identify which theory or concept is required to solve a particular question. If I talk about biology, well, it is mostly based on memory, how much you can store in your head. The government has provided you a book, a resource book, which is very useful. I actually studied only the resource book. Almost all the questions from the advanced level 2009 advanced level bio paper was clearly taken from the resource book itself. So the best way of studying biology is to read the resource book thoroughly over and over again. I used to read it loudly till my jaws ache actually. I have probably read the resource book for over 10 times by the time we were going to A levels. Take your resource book and go to somewhere that has no distractions and start reading carefully, taking every single point into your mind, trying to understand the concepts and processes, and then close your eyes and try to revise what you read. Try to build an image of what you read. If anything doesn't come to your mind, then do it once again because you have not actually paid attention to what you were studying earlier. So do it over and over again until finally you could recall what you studied. Some students use mind maps and short notes, and also some students write what you remember after studying. So you have to decide which technique suits you and work according to it. Chemistry is a very interesting subject. It was my favorite actually. I actually loved studying chemistry. Liking what you do is very important. It helps you in different ways. For an instance, when I study and get really sleepy at midnight at about 12, I switch from bio and physics to chemistry. Organic chemistry is my favorite part in chemistry. So when I'm really bored and sleepy, I do a few chemistry organic conversions until my sleepiness goes away. Once your sleepiness is gone, you could keep studying for a very long time. So always do something fun and interesting when you start to feel bored and sleepy. In chemistry, there is a certain structure in the paper. So it is easy to get an idea about which parts you should focus a lot and which parts you should. In chemistry MCQ papers, I always do the theory questions first. and then move on to the questions that require a bit of extra time and thinking, like questions which involve sums and equations. That way you can complete most of the paper without running out of time, because time management is a key factor to get a higher grade. So these are some of my techniques. You guys would have different techniques. If you think it's the technique that suits you, well, stick to it. It doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you do it properly. Thank you.
Right. Those are very good techniques, Abdul Malik. I think definitely the students who are there in the session would follow most of them. Dr. Amli, there is a question from...
Nasri, once again, can I come in?
Yes, sir.
Abdul Malik, පොඩ්ඩක් පැහැදිලි කරන්න සිංහලෙන් තාම කෙටියෙන්. මම ඔයාගේ පොත්පත් ඔයාට නොදැනුවත්වම ඔයාගේ පොත්පත් යම්සි විදිහක අධ්‍යයනය කළා. මම දැක්ක ඔයාගේ සිංහල notes වල ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් කෙටි සටහන් දාලා තිබුණා. ඒකේ මට පෙනුණා ඔයා අතිරේක යම්කිසි පරිශීලනයක් කරලා තියෙන බව. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් අපේ සමහර අපේ දරුවෝ සමහරලාට තමන් ඉගෙන ගන්න notes වලටම පමණක් සීමා වෙලා ඉන්න බවක් අපිට පේනවා ගොඩක් වෙලාවට. ඒ වගේම මේ resource pot ටික අපි පටන් ගන්නකොටම NI එකෙන් අරගෙන ඔක්කොම ළමයිට බෙදලා දීලා තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ advanced level පටන් ගන්නකොටම මේ pot ටික අරගෙන දෙනවා ළමයිට ඒක පාවිච්චි කරන්න කියලා. උසස් පෙළ විභාගයේදී විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ පොතෙන් ගොඩක් තොරතුරු ප්‍රශ්න හැදෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒ නිසා ඔබගේ අදහස තා වටිනවා. මොකද මේගොල්ලන් කොහොමද කොහෙන්ද පටන් ගන්න ඕනේ, කොයි පැත්තේද වැඩිම බර දාන්න ඕනේ කියලා. ඊට අමතරව අතිරේක ඔබ ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් සටහන් කරගත්ත කාරණා පිළිබඳවත් කෙටියෙන් සිංහලෙන් කිව්වොත් අපේ සිංහල මාධ්‍ය දරුවන්ට ඉතාම යහපත් වෙනවා ඇති කියලා මම විශ්වාස කරනවා. Nasri, if you can give time,
yes sir, sure. Abdul Malik, අපිට පුළුවන් දැන් අපේ සිංහල මාධ්‍යයෙන් අපේ ළමයිට උපදෙස් කිහිපයක් දෙන්න.
බයෝ වල මේ දැන් රිසෝස් බුක් එක මුලින්ම ආවේ මේ ඉංග්‍රීසි මාධ්‍යයෙන්. එතකොට මේ දැන් මුලදී අපිට ඒක මේ සිංහලට කන්වර්ට් කරලවත් රජයෙන් දීලා තිබ්බේ නැහැ. ඒ හින්දා මුලදී මාත් අර කලින් ඉංග්‍රීසි රිසෝස් බුක් එක තමයි ගොඩක් වෙලාට යූස් කරේ. එතකොට මේ දැන් ඒකේ තියෙන වචන ඉතින් දැන් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මේ මම ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් සිංහලෙන් දෙකේම වගේ බලනවා. ඉතින් මේ එතකොට අර at least එක ලැන්ග්වේජ් එකකින් මේ මතක තිබ්බ මේක මේ පරිවර්තනය කළා කොහොමද ලියාගන්න එතකොට හැකියාවක් ලැබෙනවා. දැන් ඉංග්‍රීසි සමහර කොටස් ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් මතකයි, සමහර ඒවා ටික සිංහලෙන් මතකයි. එතකොට අර මේ මතක ටික අරන් මේ ලියාගන්න පුළුවන් වෙනවා. එතකොට ඒ හින්දා තමයි මම ඉංග්‍රීසි notes දාලා තියෙන සිංහල මේවට. පස්සේ දැන් දිනවල සිලෙක්ට් වුණාට පස්සේ දෙක ගොඩක් මේ වටිනා. ඒ මොකද මේ දැන් ගොඩක් අයට දන්නේ සිංහල terms විතරයි. දැන් මම මේ කලින් ඉඳන්ම ඉංග්‍රීසි එකක් බලපු හින්දා දැන් ලෙක්චර්ස් යද්දි මේ ගොඩක් ලේසි තේරුම් ගන්න. මොකද කලින්ම මේ දැන් සිංහලට ඒ ඉංග්‍රීසි term එකට අදාළ සිංහල term එක දන්න හින්දා මේ අර ගොඩක් තේරුම් ගන්න ලේසි. බයෝ වල එහෙම.
ඔයා දැනගෙන හිටියේ නෑ මම ඔයාගේ පොත් බැලුවා කියලා නේ.
ඔයා දැනගෙන හිටියේ නැද්ද ප්‍රින්සිපල්ස් ඔයාගේ පොත බැලුවා කියලා?
ඒක තමයි මාත්
right. ඔබේ කැපවීම තමයි දැන් ඔබ මේ 2.6 ඉසට් ස්කෝර් එකක් ගන්නවා කියලා කියන්නේ එච්චර ලේසි නෑ. ඔය කැපවීම දැන් ඔයාට අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම එක උදව් වෙනවා. ඔයා කිව්වාගේ වගේ වෛද්‍ය පීඨයේ අර ඉංග්‍රීසි ටෙක්නිකල් ටර්ම්ස් ටික හරියට දැනගන්න. ඒක හුඟක් කට්ටියගේ තියෙන දුර්වල තැනක්. මේ ඉංග්‍රීසි ටර්ම්ස් ටික හොයාගන්න. ඒක වෙනම ඩික්ෂනරි එකක් ඒගොල්ලන් පාවිච්චි කරනවා. ඊට පස්සේ කැම්පස් වල ළමයි එමෙතන වැඩිපුර කරන්නේ. වචනේ දන්නේ නැත්නම් ඔක්ස්ෆර්ඩ් ඩික්ෂනරි එක තියාගෙන ඉන්නවා. අපි අපේ ඉන්න පාටිසිපන්ට්ස්ලාට කියන්නේ පුළුවන් නම් ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ මේ ටෙක්නිකල් ටර්ම්ස් ටික පොඩ්ඩක් ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් දැනගන්න. ඒත් වෙබ් සංස්ලේෂණය මොනවාද ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන්. ඒ වචන ටික දැනගත්තොත් ඒක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මොනවාද අනිවාර්යෙන් Google එකේ හරි සර්ච් කරනකොට ඒ වචනේ වැදගත් වෙනවා. අදාළ මේ දල සටහන් ටික ගන්න. Right. Let's move on to the next question that was given in the chat. Dr. Ramali, would you like to advise on this question raised by a student about the cost of the medicine?
Yeah, Nazri. So because first, can I commend Malik because he is a role model in that sense because we know when they get into medical school, they have to do it in English. So that's a very good start to have those terms you get familiarized in English. In fact, I also remember, because it was easy for me. I used to get biology books from British Council when I was doing my A-levels in singular medium. And that is a very good tip, and he's a role model for that. All the other students should try to do that. Just get familiarized, because as soon as you go to medical school, it's a different world. It's all in English, and some people struggle. And from there, it's everything in English. Okay, so about the answer, because I am involved with undergraduate medical students here in UK. Somebody has asked, how much will it cost to study in UK? So it's very difficult to get scholarship to UK from other countries, and it's very, 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 very expensive. So that itself should make you study hard to get into state university. So it's roughly the fees is alone to study medicine is about £30,000 per year, not for 5 years. And on top of that, you have your living expenses, the books, traveling. So it's extremely expensive to come as a private student. So that should actually put you off, and you should make even harder to get into a state university. So yeah, so that's what I was keen to answer that question, because somebody asked that, because I know those figures for sure.
Right.
But I'm happy to answer anything
Ramali,
else.
can I add up something here?
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Well, of course, we have certain amount of Sri Lankan students from wealthy families who come and study here. I have met few of them. I know few of them as well. And the parents had enough money. Of course, there are a lot of wealthy parents in Zaire. Why can't they send their kids to UK and study? Of course, if they have money, there is a possibility there. Then the next option is, of course, in the good universities in Czechoslovakia, in Romania, Bulgaria, and Eastern Europe. There is a lot of options there. So if anybody interested, you have to always think about those areas as well. Because if you study in Europe, there is a possibility you can work in the Europe afterwards. Like if you study, let's say in Czechoslovakia or Hungary or something, there is a possibility you can get a job in those countries. Or even you can move to like Italy or anywhere. UK, we are not sure what's happening, but in Netherlands and other countries. But even, of course, in Romania, they're paying a huge, good money for doctors now. They're paying about over 2,500 pounds equivalent in Romania. So they're also looking for doctors from abroad. So.
But nothing would substitute good A-level results, isn't it? So
exactly, yeah.
Work hard and get good A-level results.
For anything they need the A-level results. They need that's the basic they need.
Right. Thank you, doctors. I hope our students who asked that question, you got the clear idea about the cost of studying medicine abroad. So they are always encouraging you to get good results in the advanced level that you follow. I can skip one question, question number 9. I think Malik had already answered that question along with the question number 8. This is about advanced level examination. I think the student is trying to refer what will happen to their advanced level examination. Principal sir, would you like to answer this question, Principal sir?
Yeah, now I think before 15th of February, I think as per the discussion, the State Minister of Education we had the other day, the government is looking at recommencing school for the A-level next, and stage by stage they will be starting. So before 15th of February, before 15th of February, I'm sure that A-level grade 12 and 13 they will start. So this year, as per the schedule, the exam will be conducted. So we all have to get ready for that. So A-level science stream students, we have already discussed with the parents to get all of them into the hostel and to give even the day scholars, give the tuition at the hostel itself, whether the government officially going to start or not. We will be starting at the hostel. So I'm working with the PHI, public health inspectors in the area, and they have prescribed certain things. So accordingly, we will start. So the children will have to work for the schedule. I mean, they need not think about there will be any postponement. So they have to get ready for August examination.
Thank you, sir. And I have one more question for, I think it's better if you could answer this question also. They want to know about what type of degree that they can do in bioscience stream from low Z score. Yes. This was one of the questions raised by a student. I thought of directing this question to you.
You mean to me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah. Now, unlike in the past, there are so many streams and so many universities offering different types of courses. But also, even you can offer, you can do courses such as not only confined to the medicine. There are other courses. So a BSc degree, generally you can do it with that. And you can even do and even there are the institutes now coming up with different courses related to the government sector and also private sector we have. So, and I mean, only thing is you will not be qualified to do MBBS, obviously, but then there are other courses. So it depends on your dream. If you want to be a doctor, of course you have to go for the second, third attempts also. And then foreign universities where there are other universities, I mean, even Russia, there are so many universities. It depends. So, I mean, I mean, it doesn't tell you that just because you got a low Z score, if you have got through your A level, of course, there are opportunities to follow different types of degrees. So there are nothing to worry, but it all depends on your dream only. But you really want to be at the end of the day.
Thank you, Principal Sir. I directly forwarded all the questions that was raised by student, what they have mentioned in the Google form. And there are many other questions in this session. So I think this was answered by our panel of guest speakers today. And also, sir, there is another question from a student. What will happen to second attempt exams because of the results postponed? That was another question raised by a student. Principal sir, would you like to answer
because
that?
Of the exam postponement?
Yes. They are waiting for their results, and they want to apply for the second SHI. So they would like to get an advice on that.
Yeah. Now second SHI also the Department of Examination is considering a way out. So I'm sure that they will at least call on online the applications for the students who are going to sit for the second attempt. That all will, I think, the next couple of days they will inform. I think the discussion, even the Commission of Exam was also there.
Right. Thank you, sir. Next question I would like to pick from the chat. Dr. Ramali, would you like to answer this one? I think you have already answered this question, but to respect this question, I would like to forward this to you. Is Sri Lankan MBBS degree accepted by all around the world? Now the students are really scared of this. Is it accepted by all around the world?
Yeah, if it's state university, it is accepted. Yeah. The state universities are well recognized all over the world, but you can't just straight away go and do a postgraduate. They have to do what is known as a PLAB. I can tell only about UK because I'm more familiar with that. So they are in the when you go to General Medical Council website, there is a list of universities which are accepted. So that they'll be able to see, and all the Sri Lankan state universities, medical faculties are accepted, but they have to do what is known as a PLAB exam, which has one or two parts. So
right, thank you.
That answer is yes.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ramali. The next question I would like to pick from the chat. Principal sir, would you like to advise on the students? They want to know whether they can get into the KDU medicine faculty and what is the minimum rate?
Yeah, KDU, the KDU also, the score they declare, and after that you have to apply and then you have to go for an interview. You have to face an interview. There, in addition to the A-level qualification, they will also be checking your height and then the eyesight, and there are so many things. I mean, 2 or 3 years back, there was a student who was about to be selected for this medicine, but because of his eyesight issue, that he was his application was rejected. So, in addition to the A-level qualifying, results, they have to face an interview. So that is one thing, and there's a small payment is also they are expecting. But of course, that is also another option. They can keep it open in case they wish to enter. But they also separately call applications for the qualified students.
Right. Thank you, Principal Sir. The last question I would like to pick, because we are running out of the session. Dr. Akram, would you like to answer this question? The student was very direct to you for this question. If you find your life is having a lot of difficulties, would you get upset or any drawbacks when you have any difficulties in life to follow your dreams? I think here you had already answered.
He's asking about any psychological trauma.
Yes, yes, psychological traumas. I didn't want to mention that word here.
Okay.
Right.
Well, it's a very good question. And thank you very much for raising this question. Look, there are so many times I went alone myself in a corner and I cried myself. Even crying yourself alone will heal, right? Because you have to play around your emotions. Sometimes the brain is such a thing, you can't control yourself. You have to play around it. So when you're in the strong emotions, you want to cry. As a man, it's not bad to cry, as the people say. Just go to a corner, cry, and your brain will release all the hormones and everything. You will come back. And that's one other thing. The other thing is a good sleep. When you are in stressful situations, just forget about these things. Just go and get a good sleep or talk to a friend. When I had gone through lots of troublesome period, which everybody has it, everybody in life, nobody has perfect life. A lot of people had gone through problems, and you have to always have a few good friends whom you can talk and open your heart and talk, and that also helps a lot. And always, when problem comes, you always win. I had a few years back and I had a big problem, and what I did was, okay, to come out of this problem, I could not come out because the problem was continuing for a while. And I said, I'm going to give 5 targets in life, and I'm going to concentrate on these targets, right? That's the time I started writing about the book, because I was going a very psychological, emotional trauma, which naturally happens in your lives at some point. So I started, a friend of mine said, okay, you should write about it. So I started writing about it, and my first book came out of it. And I thought, I gave 5 challenges for myself. I said, I want to travel around the world. Of course, anyway, here it's possible I could travel, but in Sri Lanka, it's not, you have to travel abroad. You could just walk around your village, walk around the town on the corners, and you just think about something else. That's open your mind. And I started going dancing classes. I started going skiing, and all these things I have done to come out of my problem. But in the end, what happened? I had one problem and I gained 5 things out of it. So you always have to focus to win. A problem is always good. If you don't have problem, you don't win. And it is always give you satisfaction in the end. Is that okay? I hope it helps. And of course, if you want to talk to me personally, I'm happy to answer your questions. If anything further, and I can always ask Ramali to help me out, and Principal Size as well. So of course, yeah, thank you.
Sorry, if I can just let you know, the host, he's running out of time because chat. So all those chats, yeah, they can personally get answers from us. Both Akram and myself will be more than happy because it's sad we couldn't answer all the questions, but please ask them to contact us directly. You can give them our contact details. We'll be more than happy, Akram and myself, among ourselves. We recently started working as partners now.
Yes.
Thank you.
Nasbi, there's one more question. I think that question is very important. The way it is asked. The question is, what's the requirements to study in Oxford University in UK for art stream? I think a child is asking that question itself is something encouraging.
That's a very good question.
Yeah. Yeah, Dr. Akram.
So Akram, it's you.
well-
It's not medicine. You have more experience with the non-medical stuff.
Yeah, well, there are two ways you could get. There is Oxford, Cambridge. It's not impossible, guys. There are a lot of people who study at Oxford. And even my son wants to go and study in Cambridge, right? And he doesn't want to do medicine. He wants to do music, but I don't know whether he's going to do music or aeronautical engineer. Anyway, so to start with there, it is possible. And it is not difficult. It's not impossible. So there are two ways you could do. First is the U score really high, good marks in whatever you're studying. Art stream, I think there is no big requirements in the UK. You can study chemistry and physics, and you can go and study art stream and chemistry and physics, and you can go and study medicine as well. So they just want you to see that in A levels you score really high. So go for a high marks in A levels. So of course, I think if you have studied in English medium or if you've done UK A levels, that should have helped you. But if you have done Sri Lankan A levels, UK A levels is not very difficult. So do that one as well. And the third thing is going to be your financing. Since you are a foreigner for UK, because you don't have a British passport, getting a scholarship is tough. But of course, you can try. There is a possibility. It is if you're meant to be in Oxford or Cambridge, you will be there. So don't leave it. Keep trying. Go through the British Council. You can try it. But of course, you have to prove to the UK that you are an asset. You have a good brain. If you can prove that, they will give you a scholarship. But otherwise, if you can raise money from your parents or somehow, and you can come and study as a foreign students in UK.
Thank you, Dr. Akram. Let me add a few more points onto that. One of the students who got selected to Oxford University, he was the past president of, last year I'm speaking about, past president of Model United Nations Club. So he was the president, one of my students. He is now studying Oxford University. He was assessed based on his performance in MUN. So I think this is also important for the students to know. To get a scholarship, what are their basic requirements? Right. So we have come to the end of today's session. I hope we had a successful 2 hours time. Azri, I hope I have done my part for today's session. And we have one more event to, yes, one more event is there in our agenda. Let me invite to give the vote of thanks will be proposed by a Vice Principal, Mr. A.M. Mihilar, Director of Zaira Center for Excellence. Sir, Mihilar, sir, are you there in the session?
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. All praises due to Allah for His generous giving. Principal, Deputy Principal, staff members, Engineer A.G.A. Bari, Dr. Ramali, Dr. Akram, members of ZUA, and my dear students, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the Quran, Allah reminds us that if you are grateful, I will surely increase you in favor. La in shakartum la azidannakum. The Prophet, peace be upon him, whoever does not thank people has not thanked Allah. La yashkurullah man la yashkurun nas. The attitude of gratefulness to all is the way to be grateful to Allah. Keeping this prophetic tradition in our mind, I would like to acknowledge my debt of gratitude to our principal for his valuable guidance. He always encouraged Center for Excellence to organize motivational and guidance program for our students, staff members, and our parent community in collaboration with Zahira Doctor Parents, ZUA, and other organizations. My special thanks due to our distinguished all-boy engineer A.G.A. Bari, a great mentor, a philanthropist, for his, sir, for your words of wisdom. I immensely thank Dr. Muhammad Akram Muhammad, consultant, National Hospital Service UK, and Dr. Muhammad Ramali for sharing your knowledge and experience. We watched many of your informative TV talks, health talks, but today's session was very unique. I hope today's session will inspire our students. May Allah reward you, both of you, the best in this world and hereafter. And also, I would like to recognize our student, Abdul Malik, for his valuable comments. Our respectable brothers, Azri Nahas and engineer Nazwi Imtiaz, both of them navigate today's program in a meaningful way, and it was very impressive. Especially coordinator of ZUA, Mr. Azri Nahas, always made his service available to Zahira College. I think he strived to make today's program a success, and he pre-planned this session during the last December. With the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, today we witness the fruits of his hard work. Dear students, I take this opportunity to thank all of you for your constant interest and probing through relevant questions. May Allah reward you and all our resource persons. Jazakumullah khairan. Barakallahu feekum.
Jazakallah khair, sir, for your vote of thanks. With that note, we are coming to the end of our today's session. I would like to add a few feedback. This is very important, students. I can see, and this is our satisfaction too. After we organize the session, if you are inspired by our session, right, our speakers, they give valuable advices. If you could give your feedback on this session, it will help us to find our strength and weaknesses as well. So we would kindly request you to fill in the feedback form. You could see a link that is posted by one of our ZUA member. It will be really helpful for us to find our strength and to help all Zairians who are coming up to do advanced level, not only bioscience stream, but also the other streams as well. Let me read one comment from a student. I'm really satisfied with this today's session. This is what given by Rashid Ahmed, today's session, and I would like to thank the principal, sir, the guest speakers, and the Center for Excellence for giving and organizing this memorable event. Even it is a memorable event for me. Thank you everyone who gave me the opportunity. Azri, the control, over to you to take over the session for dua and salawat.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nazmi Nahal and Nazmi Imtiaz. Actually, I want to add for the vote of thanks, like a few more people. Actually, until yesterday, until today morning, only the 15 members was students was confirmed for the today's program. I was a little bit feared, but Alhamdulillah, it was one of the most successful program I ever did. Even though the number is like a 40 or 45, because Zaira, if you take the bio stream, we have less than 20 students, but Alhamdulillah, for the entire program, there were around 50 to 55 participants. I want to especially thank our sectional head, the science stream section head, all the heads, teachers, and everyone, because they are the one who brought the students to here. And special thanks. And before winding up the session, I want to add one more thing. Now the students might think, what is the Zaira University alumni? Because I am the Zaira University alumni coordinator. I have the responsibility of promoting the Zaira University alumni. So there are many members from Zaira University alumni, but I just want to tell how to join with this Zaira University alumni. It is very simple. You have to be an undergraduate or graduate from State University, and you have to be an Zairian. That's it. And we will find you, and you can join Zaira College biggest professional network in future. So we have so many members now, Dr. Akram, Dr. Ramali. Now, so far now in the Zaira University alumni, we have around 20 to 25 doctors. So all are here in the Zaira University alumni. You can get best results, and you can join the Zaira University alumni as soon as possible, and you can grow yourself. And Jazakallahu khair. And we can conclude with the salawat. And before concluding before the salawat, one more thing. We will be sharing you the feedback forum through our sectional heads and teachers. Please provide us the feedback, because we need your feedback to improve our next session. Because now coming days, like we have planned like so many future programs. We need your comments to improve ourselves. Thank you very much. We can conclude now. Thank you very much.
Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Sallallahu ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Sallallahu ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Sallallahu ala Muhammad ya Rabbi salli alayhi wasallam. Assalamu alaikum to everyone.
Walaikum salam.
Thank you. Thank you, Nasri. Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
Great program, Azri.
Thank you, Mr. Amit. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Azri.
Thank you, Doctor.
Are there any students there? They want to talk out of program? Azri, do you still have time?
We have enough time, Doctor. Like if
If there are students, if they're still there, if they want to ask any personal questions, I can be around for a few minutes.
Yes,
That's
Doctor.
fine.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Yeah, Doctor, I have already completed my advanced level. So I'm looking for an alternative whether I should proceed with the state university. I mean, I haven't received my results yet.
Right.
But still, if there is any alternative in the private sector, I would like to consider. But still, as in, I'm not from a wealthy family, but still, if I'm able